What if I told you some of the most dangerous American muscle cars ever built didn't look fast at all? No stripes, no scoops, no warning. Just quiet, ordinary-looking cars hiding engines powerful enough to humiliate Corvettes, scare racing officials, and rewrite performance history forever. These weren't poster cars. They weren't showroom heroes. They were sleepers, built to blend in, built to dominate, and almost erased from memory. Today, we're counting down 12 forgotten American sleepers that looked harmless but could absolutely ruin your day at a stoplight. Number 12. Oldsmobile Jetfire, 1962 to 1963. In the early 1960s, America was obsessed with the future. The space race was heating up, rockets were firing into orbit, and suddenly Oldsmobile decided to bring rocket science to the street. The Jetfire doesn't look intimidating. In fact, it looks polite, compact, almost conservative. But under the hood lived something the automotive world had never seen before in a production car: a turbocharged engine. This compact F-85 packed a 3.5-liter aluminum V8 boosted by a Garrett AI Research turbocharger, producing 215 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers may not sound wild today, but in 1962, this was science fiction. The Jetfire could hit 60 miles per hour in about 8.5 seconds and run up to 110 miles per hour. Serious performance for a small, understated car. But the real magic was its turbo rocket fluid system, a special mix of distilled water and methanol injected to prevent detonation. When it worked, the car felt futuristic. When it didn't, owners were confused, mechanics were overwhelmed, and reliability suffered. Only about 9,600 were built across 2 years. Too advanced for its time, too misunderstood to survive, but absolutely legendary. Number 11. Plymouth Fury Superstock 413, 1962. Before the GTO changed everything, before the muscle car boom had a name, there was this. The 1962 Plymouth Fury Superstock 413 is arguably the first true muscle car of the 1960s, and almost nobody remembers it. Why? Because it was expensive, over $3,400 when new, and because Plymouth barely made any. Only 57 units were sold. Under the hood sat the fearsome 413 cubic inch max Wedge V8, breathing through high-flow heads, oversized valves, and dual Carter 4-barrel carburetors mounted on a wild cross-ram intake. Power output ranged from 410 to 420 horsepower, monstrous numbers for the era. On the drag strip, this Fury was pure violence. Quarter-mile times were 11.8 seconds at 120 miles per hour. That's not muscle car fast, that's race car fast. While the GTO became famous, the Fury Superstock quietly disappeared, leaving behind one of the most underrated legends in American performance history. Number 10. Studebaker Avanti R2, 1963. By the early 1960s, Studebaker was fighting for survival, and their answer wasn't caution, it was audacity. The Avanti looked like nothing else on the road, with a sleek fiberglass body, no traditional grille, and a shape that felt European, almost alien. But it wasn't just style. The R2 version came with a Paxton supercharged 289 V8, making 280 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. Paired with a 3-speed automatic, it could hit 60 in about 8 seconds and run the quarter-mile in the mid-15s. But here's the shocking part. Top speed was near 170 miles per hour in the early 1960s. It also featured front disc brakes, a rarity in American cars at the time. The Avanti R2 wasn't just fast, it was forward-thinking. Unfortunately, Studebaker's finances couldn't keep up with its ambition. Fewer than 5,800 were built before production ended. A futuristic sleeper that arrived too early and left too soon. Number 9. Pontiac Grand Prix 421 Super Duty, 1962. This one shouldn't exist. The Pontiac Grand Prix was supposed to be a luxury coupe, a gentleman's express with a long hood, elegant lines, and subtle chrome. But hidden behind that refined exterior was something terrifying. A handful of buyers could special order the 421 cubic inch Super Duty V8, a race-bred monster pulled straight from Pontiac skunkworks. Officially rated at 405 horsepower, unofficially everyone knew it was more. This engine turned a 4,000-pound luxury coupe into a missile. Quarter-mile times dropped into the low 14ths, an insane achievement for something this big in 1962. Only 16 units were built. 16. That makes this one of the rarest and most dangerous sleepers ever sold to the public. Number 8. Ford Fairlane K-Code 289, 1963. At first glance, it looks like a sensible midsize car, something your dad might buy for commuting or carpool duty. But check the VIN. If it had a K-Code, everything changed. That meant Ford's legendary 289 high-performance V8 with solid lifters, an aggressive cam, a 4-barrel carb, and a bottom end happy to scream past 6,000 revolutions per minute. It made 271 horsepower and 312 pound-feet of torque in a car weighing under 3,000 pounds. This was the engine that would later make the Mustang and Shelby famous. But in late 1963, it quietly slipped into the Fairlane. Performance was brutal, 0 to 60 in under 8 seconds and mid-15-second quarter-mile times. Out of more than 28,000 Fairlane 500 sport coupes built that year, it's estimated only around 200 received the K-Code engine. A true sleeper and a blueprint for Ford performance dominance. Number 7. Plymouth Savoy 426 Max Wedge, 1963. No chrome, no frills, no apologies. The Plymouth Savoy was a base-model full-size sedan until Plymouth stuffed in the 426 Max Wedge. Available in 415 or 425 horsepower configurations, this engine featured massive heads, a cross-ram intake, and dual 4-barrel carburetors designed purely for high RPM destruction. Paired with either an automatic or 4-speed manual, the lightweight Savoy became a drag strip nightmare, running low 12-second quarter miles straight from the showroom. And visually, it looked like a taxicab. Only 18 units were built, 18 chances to embarrass everything else on the strip. Number 6. Buick Skylark Gran Sport, 1965. Buick's response to the GTO wasn't loud. It was refined. The Skylark Gran Sport came with what Buick officially called a 400, but enthusiasts know the truth. It was actually a 401 cubic inch Nailhead V8. With 325 horsepower and a massive 445 pound-feet of torque, this car was all about effortless shove. Heavy-duty suspension, a boxed frame, larger tires, and a surprisingly upscale interior made it fast and comfortable. Car Life magazine clocked it at 15.3 seconds in the quarter mile at 88 miles per hour. Not flashy, not aggressive, but devastatingly effective. Number 5. Dodge Coronet 426 Street Wedge, 1965. The Coronet 500 was Dodge's top-trim midsize with bucket seats, a center console, and clean styling. Under the hood sat a 426 cubic inch street wedge producing 365 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. This wasn't the wild max wedge. It was civilized, street-friendly, but still brutally strong. 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds and the quarter mile in 15.4 seconds. Only 2,117 units were built. A perfect balance of comfort, rarity, and hidden muscle. Number 4. Dodge Dart Lightweight, 1965. This one was born for war. Built to dominate NHRA stock classes, the Dart Lightweight came straight from the dealership ready to race with fiberglass panels, a stripped interior, and a curb weight under 2,900 pounds. Power came from a high-compression 273 V8 with headers, a Holley carb, and a 4-speed manual. CarCraft magazine recorded quarter-mile runs of 14.3 seconds at 94 miles per hour. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't luxurious, but it was lethal. Number 3. Chevrolet Biscayne 427 L72. This is the definition of a sleeper. The Biscayne was Chevrolet's most basic full-size sedan, often used as taxis or police cars. But if you knew where to look, you could order the 427 L72 V8 rated at 425 horsepower with solid lifters, an aggressive cam, and racing DNA straight from NASCAR. Paired with a 4-speed manual, this plain Jane sedan could hit 60 miles per hour in just 6.3 seconds. No badges, no bragging rights, just pure dominance. Number 2. Buick GS400, 1967. In 1967, Buick finally gave the GS a true 400 cubic inch V8. Power jumped to 340 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque. Available with manual or automatic transmissions, the GS400 blended comfort with serious muscle. Car life recorded a quarter-mile time of 14.7 seconds at 97 miles per hour. Buick built just over 10,000 hardtops that year, making this a rare and refined sleeper. Number 1. Ford Fairlane 500 R-Code 428 Cobra Jet, 1968. This is the ultimate sleeper. Born after Ford's Cobra Jet shocked the NHRA, the Fairlane 500 hardtop received the legendary 428 Cobra Jet without the flashy fastback styling. Rated at a laughable 335 horsepower, real output was closer to 400 horses and 445 pound-feet of torque. Most were automatics, most looked formal, and that was the point. Only 22 examples are documented with the Cobra Jet and C6 automatic combo. Insurance-friendly on paper and absolutely brutal in reality. Stock enough to hurt feelings. These cars remind us of something important. Power doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. And by the time you realize what you're racing, it's already too late. If you love forgotten legends, sleeper builds, and the hidden side of American muscle, make sure you stick around. Tap that like button if any of these surprised you. Drop a comment telling us which sleeper you'd risk your pride against, and subscribe, because the next legend we uncover might be hiding in plain sight.